Hello everyone, we've got a new Shogi openings video and I'm going to show you side pawn picker opening today, which takes place when black played pawn to 7f, white pawn 3d, and 2f and 8d, and black will push the pawn up to 2e and then 8e. Now at this position, the standard moves goes gold to 7h, defending the bishop's head, just as you did in double wing attack opening. Well, yes, you have an option of just keep pushing the pawn to 2d, but it's not thought to be the best move here. Well, but actually, I don't think this position is so easy for white to take advantage of as in double wing attack opening. I think that line that follows after this pawn to 2d is a pretty difficult one, and it's very interesting. But I won't go into that in this video. I'll leave it to other ones. So let's look a little bit further into the standard move line. Gold to 7h, and then white 2 will play gold to 3b. Now black goes pawn to 2d, pawn takes, and rook takes. And at this position, an old Jouseki was to drop the pawn to 2c here, and then rook to 2f. But actually, this standard move is obsolete now. They're not thought to be the best moves today. Well, the standard move for this position today is pawn to 8f. White 2 makes the pawn exchange here. Rook recaptures. And now black picks up the side pawn, rook to 3d. Well, here black is threatening this. Bishop takes to be promoted, and white can't take it. If he takes with the gold, he loses the silver. If he takes with the silver, he loses the gold. So, at this position, white has several options of removing that threat, and they will bring you into many different Jousekis. But today, I want to show you something else. I'm going to rewind the moves a little. Here, in this video, I'm going to explain why pawn drop to 2c at this position was thought to be a good one before, and it's not today. Well, actually, there was this old Shogi proverb, picking the side pawn gives you 3 years of trouble. So they thought taking the side pawn here, rook to 3d, is not a good move. Well, if black could just take the side pawn and get away with it, dropping the pawn to 2c would be totally pointless, right? Well, otherwise he can drop the pawn to anywhere along this file, right? For instance, here, in the future. So, after black took the side pawn, white must make his opponent pay for that. And to do that, he makes a bishop trade, and then drop the bishop either to here, 4e, or 2e. When it's 2e, he forks the rook and the pawn. And at 4e, he's attacking the rook and threatens to promote the bishop. Now let's take a look at what happens after bishop 4e here. Black will play rook to 3e, and the bishop will promote. Now it looks like white's attack is successful, but actually black has a good move here. Well, this one is hard to find, so I'm going to just show it to you here. It's a check by bishop drop to 1e, king 4a, and what's the point of this check? Well, then black pushes a pawn to 3f, and you notice something? Now the horse has nowhere to go, so it's going to be captured. White can do nothing about it. He can push the pawn to 1d, but bishop 4h, and maybe pawn to 8f, but well, you can just capture the horse, and the 8th file is okay. Silver takes, drops a pawn, silver 9f, bishop takes the gold, and silver retakes, and maybe gold to 2h, but his attack is exhausted here. And by the way, you can also take the pawn here, but it seems a little bit dangerous. After rook retakes, you go for the horse, but he can pick up the side pawn, silver 7g, and then white can take this pawn. Well, but actually it's okay. Black can just retake it, and horse takes, and a powerful fork. So, at this position, bishop drop to 4e wasn't good enough. So let's see what happens after bishop drop to 2e. Well, here, moving the rook to 3e is not good. White can promote the bishop. and it won't be captured like what you've seen. So, oh, and actually you have an option of just moving the rook back to 3f and let him take it. White will make a dragon. Oh, he can't promote here. A bishop fork. So he'll promote it to here. Now white can't take the pawn yet because black has this bishop drop. So he defends this square by the silver, and black protects the pawn by the bishop. Silver 2b, knight 3g, and dragon 2d. Well, actually this is not so bad for black, although white has made a dragon. Oh, by the way, when black moved the knight, maybe you're worried about this move and a powerful bishop drop here. But there's a good move for black here. You see it? Well, it's a bishop check, and then rook drop to here. Now white's bishop is dead. Alright, but anyway, after white dropped the bishop to 2e, the standard move is not rook to 3f. Well, it's rook takes 3b promotes. You abandon the rook, and after silver takes, you defend this square by the silver. Well, even if black is down material here, it's not so bad for him, because white's bishop is not very stable here, and dropping the rook to here isn't so much of a threat to black. Oh, and by the way, he could have also taken it with the rook, but after silver 3h, white is threatened by these good bishop drops, so it's better to take it by the silver. Now at this position, black is threatening a bishop drop to here, so white will go silver to 3c. And now the move for black that is thought to be the best here is pawn up to 1f. Well, actually he's threatening gold drop to 3e in the next move and capture the bishop. You see, he can't escape. So white has several options of replying to this move here. First of all, how about pushing this pawn, making the escaping route? Well, in this case, black has this good bishop drop, attacking the knight. Well, if white defends by moving rook to 2b, it doesn't help. So he'll have to drop the rook to 3a, and for instance pawn to 3f. Well, white can't take it. Now he lost control of this square. And also now black can drop a pawn to this file. So pawn to 3b, for instance. So white can't take it. King 4b, and knight moves over to 3g. And it looks pretty much good for black, because white was forced to drop the rook to his own camp. Alright, now let's take a look at another white's reply at this position. He can also play pawn to 2d. Now he's preparing to draw back the bishop, or in this way. Well, in this case, black can drop the gold to here, attacking the knight. And white can't prevent that attack. If he protects it by the rook, a pawn drop, and takes it, and bishop drop. So one example that follows here is if the lance escapes, I can drop the bishop and push up the pawn, keep pushing, and then discard the bishop. King takes and silver drop. Bishop takes, pawn takes, and after king 4b, you have this pawn promotion. He can't take it because black has a bishop fork. So it's pretty good for black here. Alright, now then finally, another option for white here is push up this pawn to 1d. Well, white is preparing something for when black has played gold drop to 3e. He'll abandon the bishop and try to take the lance. Lance takes and lance retakes. Bishop drop. It promotes and pawn to 2h. Well, it looks like a difficult game. So maybe black shouldn't just drop the gold here. Maybe it's better to calmly stabilize his king to 6h and then threaten the gold drop in the next move. Alright, so as I've explained, dropping the pawn to 2c here ends up in good situations for black after taking the side pawn. White can't make the opponent pay for it by either bishop drops here or here. So that's why in the standard move today, white doesn't drop the pawn here. He goes pawn to 8f. Alright, that's all for this lesson. Thanks for watching. See you soon.